Hey everybody, this is Dan coming to you live from Japan. And this is the highly coveted, the one and only, well, this week at least, Ergo AMA. And with me I have Alex. Say to everybody, Alex.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, still no video. Hopefully next time, as usually.
But that's okay, Alex. We'll imagine. We'll use your imagination.
Yeah, so still need to fix drivers for that Shure mic, Linux drivers, and then I can use laptop's camera as well. And so the plan is actually to fix those things in coming days, and then record some videos because there are a lot of topics to cover now extensively. In regards with plans for protocol development, side chains, the Ergo Hackathons project, layer 2, and so on. So, I'm thinking about how to organize a presentation now and record it. We'll be done once the slides will be ready.
Excellent. So, is that what you've been up to this week, or what else has been going on?
Actually, a lot of things. A lot of earthquakes in the ecosystem, let's say, such as Rosen Spectrum pool launch. Maybe you know better about details. Also auction coin. The pool was launched as well as first auctions. There is a lot of interesting developments already in this financial game. A lot of other things. So there was, as usually, quite good developers chat yesterday, so it will be covered in a Sunday video. But aside of development, also a lot of things going on in the ecosystem right now. So can you provide details on the Rosen's launch? So what's done to the moment and what are the next steps?
Right. Yeah. So, of course, I think if you haven't heard about the Rosen token launch and you're in the Ergo ecosystem, you should really rethink your life. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's been a very successful launch of the token, the fairest distribution we could possibly think of, the way it was launched. One of the reasons why it was launched and the way it was, as Joe has explained, is just to make it as fair as possible, to reduce any front running, any bots, anything like that, from manipulating the actual token. And so it happened really quickly. And so the details. So some people are asking questions about the details of the launch, but kind of a bit of a play-by-play, and we will have that for you in just a little bit. So basically, just giving you full transparency on how the launch happened, how it went from where it was to live to now on Spectrum. So that's coming. We'll try to get out to you the next week or so through the Rosen account. The Rosen team is going to get a nice, give you a nice thread about that. Also, and this is something that we've been planning for quite a while, we're going to have the Rosen team on Ergo Pulse. As you know, Ergo Pulse has been in hiatus for some months. We're taking it out of hiatus. We got a couple of really cool guests lined up for you. One of them is the Rosen team, and so it would be a good place for questions to be answered and for you guys to kind of let us know what you would like to know about what's going on from the Rosen team, and so that we can cover it during the Ergo Pulse. Other than that, everything's been proceeding on schedule. We finished the workshop. The video is out right now. So also, and pardon me, I'm still getting over a little cold. One of the things that I really wanted to make sure that the community understands and to kind of push this. If you have questions about anything that's been done through the workshops, anything Rosen at all, if you have any concerns, any kind of feedback, please reach out to us. Please. We're not going to get offended if it's negative feedback. So please reach out to us. Of course, positive feedback is great, but just let us know. If there's something that you would like to get a better definition on, maybe something concerns you. So there's several ways of reaching out to us. You can reach out to any of us through Telegram, through DMs, as well as through Discord. Through the Ergo Discord, we're all on there, so you can ping any of us. My DMs are always open for any kind of questions you have. Yeah, so just wanted to kind of put that out there to make sure that people aren't intimidated, aren't kind of thinking, well, I don't like this, I don't like that, but I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna muddy up the water or whatever. It's okay. It's okay. Ask the questions if there are questions to be asked. So that's where the Rosen, the Rosen development and the development of the Rosen ecosystem is at. So going further into it, we're going to be rolling out a roadmap of order of operations and events that are going to be important milestones that are going to be coming up. So look for that as well. That's about where we're at right now. So aside from that, of course, we had several really cool things happen in the ecosystem. What Alex was mentioning, also we announced the Palm IDO. That is also something that we decided to do on Ergo first for obvious reasons, and to really make sure that even though we cannot exactly do the same kind of token launch as Rosen, just to kind of like launch it and that's it. Due to various, regulatory concerns of where the actual token is going to be operating. We are trying to do as fair distribution as possible and to get the community in as early as possible, which is one of the main reasons for the Ergo IDO this early on. Other than that, working with various parts of the ecosystem, still communicating with exchanges. We, as you saw, we have some platforms that have been onboarding Ergo, which is great to see. I am still, it's a slow process, but I am working with an exchange that could potentially get Ergo, create availability for the U.S. market to get into Ergo. So that is also really exciting. It's just a matter of kind of negotiating the best terms for our ecosystem. Because, I'll tell you, and not with this particular exchange, but with quite a few exchanges, what will happen is they will actually want to create contests and create I guess promotional giveaways, if you want to call it that, for new coins and tokens that are being onboarded onto the exchange. And in our case, one of my main asks every single time that happens is to actually make sure that before any kind of giveaway happens, any kind of basically anything where people don't necessarily have to pay upfront to get Ergo, to buy Ergo. They don't have to buy Ergo. They earn Ergo in some sort of way, that they're clear about what they have. It's very important. It's very important to make sure that we kind of start, if people are specifically going and getting Erg and getting into Erg and they're getting it off an exchange, and even if they're buying it, we want to make sure that we have enough materials out there to make them understand what this is, that, it's not just another 3-letter ticker in their wallet. This is an ecosystem. This is different from, your average token out there, your average coin out there. This is a special asset that they have in their wallet. So yeah, this is something that it's part of the negotiation that happens when you get listed in an exchange. And this is something that not just myself, but everybody on the team really make sure is covered before we are listed on any exchanges, where basically if people don't know what it is and they don't pay for it, they'll want to they'll want to get out of it as soon as it makes them any kind of money, which is understandable, but also that's not that's not a good way. That's not good for our ecosystem. We want new people to stay in the ecosystem. We want them to understand what the ecosystem is about. So so this is like I said, this is something that we're very adamant about, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to make sure that that these prerequisites are followed, or that the people that we're dealing with are willing to follow these prerequisites when onboarding Ergo, or when listing Ergo on an exchange. So that's about it from me. So why don't we go to some questions?
Some more updates.
Okay.
Yes, please. Gleon. The next iteration of JET stablecoin protocol is close to testnet launch. And so, if you wanted to help with contracts reviewing and testing, please reach Bruno or me. Also, Ergo Foundation got some number of Gleon tokens from former Jet Alliance. An organization studying stability in the cryptocurrency space, led by Bruno. And more donations hopefully coming. And currently there is a rework of marketing team by the Ergo Foundation. Maybe next time details could be provided in. Let's see. All right, now let's jump to the questions. That's more or less it.
All right, let's do it. All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So, let's see. Where was that question about? Oh yeah, here it is. So, Wombo asks, any updates on courses curriculum for the Ergo course that we've been talking about? So, Yeah, so the reason why I haven't spoken about it is because I think I explained it a little while back that the rollout of the course is has been delayed a little bit until probably semester one of next year. This is just due to the internal uh, dealings of the university. They have other courses that had to take priority. So this is still happening, and I'm also working on another university to deliver these courses as well. But for now, yeah, we're looking at early next year for these courses to be rolled out. And again, I will have more updates for you as we as we get more information from the university. But this is definitely something that's still being pursued. All right. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Okay. So here's a question that, well, it has been answered in the chat here, but maybe you have some information on this. So the question is, in the past year or so, there was talk about Ergo being compatible with Ledger hardware wallets. Is there any news regarding this? So what is the last thing that you've heard about that, Alex?
Yeah, so still, yeah, it's about ping pong with the Ledger team, as far as I know. But yeah, I think this as well as a few other important integrations should be now taken under Ergo Foundation control. Unfortunately, it's a pretty slow process. I mean, ping pong with the Ledger team, but let's see what's doable here. So, I think Ergo Foundation needs to provide updates periodically on that. So, yeah, we will do that.
Great. Yeah, it's even with Cardano, it was a really slow process to get it on Ledger. We were asked the same question for a while. I think I forgot how long it took, but it took months. It literally took months. And in fact, it might have been even longer than that. So yeah, I remember this was not like an instant process by any means. This was a pretty slow process, and yeah, we were constantly asked about that for a number of years. Even I don't know if it was after the process was started, but we were asked about this for quite a while, and then the process started, and then that took a while. And while we were trying to get integrated into Ledger, we're asked the question. So yeah, as Alex said, it's a bit of a game of ping pong. So yeah, just bear with us, and we'll have updates for you on that. Right. So there is a question here from Augustus Kent. Will there be any special video or marketing effort to spread awareness of Rosenbridge? Yes, there will be. We are going to be putting out some videos and some educational material about Rosen. Plus, we're also working on a kind of a more broad marketing strategy for Rosen right now with the team, and between the Rosen team and the Zengate team, we're definitely, it's definitely on our minds right now. Right. So here's another. Okay. Oh, actually, yeah, I think we already answered this one. So let's see. There was another question here. Okay, so and this might be a good one for Alex. So, Alex, do you think? Well, this is for both of us, but I wanted to get your input on this. Alex, do you think there will ever be an Ergo ETF?
Who knows the future? I don't know. And also, is it really needed? So, well, it's making actually the commodity disconnected, right? I mean, as a financial tool, it's making it disconnected from the physical counterpart, probably, or not really. So I'm not really strong in this, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that. I think, I mean, it's all about need, right? So, is there a need for an Ergo ETF? I mean, is there really? You know, yeah, I just don't see there being one. I mean, there's a lot of other coins out there that would, an ETF would make more sense on. I mean, Ergo is too robust to just be an ETF, I think. So, I mean, just to me, it just kind of, it wouldn't make sense. Or I don't, as of right now, the way I'm thinking, it doesn't make sense for me that it would be that. But who knows? Yeah, who knows if that's something that'll happen, and it could. Yeah, and I could change my mind, if I get some good information on that, and people have people have input on why they think it would make good ETF. Yeah, I could definitely change my mind, but as of right now, I just don't see it. Okay.
Yeah, well, even for Bitcoin, so what ETF gives to the Bitcoin ecosystem? I don't know.
Yeah. So well, I mean, I think, I mean, the actual question is, or the actual, I guess, nuance here is that, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm mistaken, but a lot of times when people kind of think about Bitcoin ETF, they think of a price increase. You get Bitcoin ETF out there. That means it's institutional adoption. Institutional adoption means numbers go up. So I mean that's what the main, and regardless of what anybody else says, that is the main thing that people always think about. A Bitcoin ETF makes the market go up, numbers go up. It's worth more. That's really the only functionality I can see that comes out of it.
Yeah, so it seems it's just kind of agenda for the next cycle, right? So it's purely in informational product then, more than real. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because Bitcoin price can go up without ETF, right? So
it could. It's just the thing is that I think also the ETF thing is kind of like a bull market sign for people. They're waiting for the halving, they're waiting for the ETF, so they're thinking, okay, the ETF is going to happen. And I'm not saying it's not. It's wrong. I actually think that is what's going to happen personally. You're going to have ETF come out. People are going to like it. The price is going to go up. Then Bitcoin will go up. Then a halving will happen, and then the money will pour into alts, and then alts will go up. And that's that's going to be your bull market right there. As far as just strict prices go, and I don't like to I don't like to do the whole price thing, crystal ball bullshit. So I'm kind of going to stop at that. But I mean, I just think that that's what people are seeing, and that's probably where it's going to go. So yeah, that's why the ETF thing is kind of is on everybody's mind, because for a lot of people, it just signals the beginning of the bull run.
Yeah, but then it's just like China back in autumn 2013. Right, and what's driven in 2017? I've forgotten even. Probably ICOs, right? So it's not even a Bitcoin phenomenon, but yeah. So somehow, let's the 2017 bull run, and then in 2021 was what that's. I'm not even sure. So it seems, there is some reason, right? But is it real reason after all? Hard to say.
Well, it's just like a lot of the last bull run. I mean, if you're not just talking about Bitcoin, but just talking about in general, a lot of the last bull run, I mean, to me, it was kind of artificial. It started with this whole thing with Doge, and then it just kind of triggered all these other coins. I think one of the reasons why it crashed as much as it did this time, and it didn't crash as much as before, but it still kind of gave out, but not everything gave out proportionally, right? In proportion. Like for example, what was it last? Last time, Bitcoin didn't hold up this well. In the last bear market, Bitcoin went to pieces. So did ETH. This time, those are actually holding up fairly well. I mean, Bitcoin is like at half of it from all-time high. That's still pretty good. I just think it kind of left some, dead weight that wasn't shaken out properly before the bull run began. And so that's kind of became the last bull run kind of became a little screwy in my eyes. I mean, this time around, hopefully we are, in better shape. Just again, price wise, but in the end, I mean, what is that going to do? Is that going to, thinking about the bull run, thinking about all these, because there's questions in here about price appreciation that I see that I don't really like to deal with, because again, to me, anything over, I'd say like a 36-hour period for technical analysis is, it's mostly just voodoo, is guessing. Some people are good at, longer trend predictions. Most aren't. So that's why I don't like to, I'm not good at that. I'm not even good at TA. I have somebody else on the team that's much better than me. So I don't even dabble at that. But in general, I can just kind of say, personal sentiment wise, so for me, any kind of bull run or any kind of increase in activity has to have a sustainable result, a sustainable return and a return on noise investment, right? So what does that mean? Well, that means that, so there's a lot of noise, a lot of people buying in, a lot of people speculating. Everybody's like, yeah, Ergo to the moon, Cardano to the moon. Yeah. Now we got this thing where they're saying Cardano's going to go to $24. Like, okay. Sure, why not? Ergo, I see people saying like Ergo is going to go to like $100 this bull run. I'm not going to say anything about that, but okay, think about this. Ergo goes to $100, right? What does that do for our ecosystem? How does that grow our ecosystem aside from getting more people to just moon boy and moon girl in and out of the ecosystem? I'm not saying it doesn't, but let's think about that. How does that actually affect it? Are there going to be more people utilizing the apps or the dApps in the ecosystem? Maybe, probably more than now, obviously, but is it going to be kind of this exponential growth versus just people sitting on Erg and hoping is going to 10x or whatever? Probably not. I don't think they will. And it just has been shown in previous bull markets that being the case. If the most interesting thing about the asset is its speculative nature, then people are just going to speculate on it. And we don't want them to just speculate on it. We want them to actually explore the ecosystem. So that's something that I always think about when people say like, oh yeah, it would be awesome if Ergo was $100. Okay. It would be awesome if ADA is $20 or whatever. Yes and no. I guess. Because personally, to me, the growth is also in the ecosystem. How did we develop as an ecosystem? Like, for example, if you look at the Cardano ecosystem right now, right, in the bear market, and again, I think TVL is kind of a screwy metric because it can be manipulated. But even looking at TVL, even looking at the increase in activity in the Cardano ecosystem during the bear market, it's actually, I would say it's much more, quite a bit more than it was in the bull market. And I'll tell you why, because there's just way too much noise in the bull market. A lot too many people wanting to go, get Lambos and go to the moon and whatever. Not enough people concentrating on what can you do with it. They just sit on it. They just hodl. They don't think about, okay, well, what can I do with my erg, right? Say, can I go to can I go on Spectrum and do some stuff with it? Can I go to Blitz and play a game with it? Can I go I don't know do an auction with it? I mean, what can you do with it? And be excited about that. And that, to me, that is more sustainable growth, right? Because even if you go when we go back to a bear market after the next bull market, if we have enough people in the ecosystem utilizing utilizing ERG for actually interacting within the ecosystem, that's sustainable, right? It's sustainable. Of course, he is going to drop off, but it's not going to be dropping off as much because it's more sustainable. I mean, why is ETH staying up where it's staying right now? Of course, there's various reasons, but one of the main reasons is because, you kind of need ETH to do a bunch of stuff. I hate holding ETH, but I have to hold ETH because I have to send USDT, USDC to people because that's really that's the most widespread stables out there. The most people accept USDT, USDC. So I have to have ETH. I have to have ETH for other types of transactions, So it's not even about, for me, it's not even about liking it or not liking it. It's about having to hold it so I can utilize other tools within that ecosystem. And so my strong belief is that is why that price is holding as well as it does. Is because there's actual, there's utility there. People are still transacting in stables that are on ETH, right? They're on Ethereum. People are still utilizing, OpenSea and all these other things, all these other DeFi protocols that are on there. Like it or not, that's what keeps a system, keeps an ecosystem sustainable volume. And so I hope that's happened, and I know that will happen to us, and I hope that happens over people just buying up a bunch of Ergo and sitting on it and then dumping it, because that would be counterproductive. What are your thoughts on that, Alex? What are your thoughts on just ecosystem sustainability?
It's already pretty sustainable, I think, right? And it has a good track for development. So I don't see any issues then in speculators coming also, right? And with prices rising to 100 or 200, it would be actually quite good, right? Because then more developers will come. And I believe currently, documentation and tooling is now much better than back in 2021. More examples here, right? More working DeFi to study from and so on. So then it's circle, right? So more developers coming, bigger TVL overall. By the way, just since the Rosen Pool launch yesterday, TVL already grown up by 400,000 ERC, right? Which is 2 weeks of emission. so pretty significant amount. And so, yeah, with TVL going up and more bullish expectations, even more speculators, right? And then, also market makers would appear at some point, right? And funds and so on. So why not then? Seems like pretty good for everyone, right? Including developers.
Yeah, of course, I agree that price increase would be good for developers, but what I am cautious about is what is going to be speculator to actual utilizer ratio when the bull market comes. If it shoots up to $100, right? It shoots up to $200. Are we going to have an exponential amount of speculators come in that are counterproductive to the ecosystem, and they're just going to basically dump as soon as this thing happens, or is it actually going to attract enough or quite a bit of new developers or new miners, just new people into the ecosystem that are going to utilize the ecosystem? That's my main kind of point that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, but no reason to be shy at this point, right? So Ergo is not Dogecoin or whatever one day funny meme coin, right? So already it has real value. So then even if someone will come as a speculator, then he may stay here, right? Being pretty involved. So that's happened to many who came back in 2021. I know a lot of guys who just randomly bought ERC, then fallen in love and still in the community and doing something and so on. This is not about every speculator for sure, but a lot of people are staying here actually. So then it's there is no any reason not to welcome new folks, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everybody's welcome. We're definitely not going to be gatekeeping anything during the bull run. Like I said, I just really want to see. I'm interested in the data. I'm interested to see how sustainable will the new community be that comes on board. But again, we have to wait and see, and it will grow. I have no doubt about that. Now, here's actually something that so Lisa Autry said here in the comments, says mass education and then adoption is what we need to make this work. So I see this as a kind of a multi-level thing, and I spoke about this before, and I just kind of would like to expand on this a little bit more. So I actually think I made this comment maybe like a year ago or something like that. I remember saying something like this where, not everybody wants to be educated. Like some people feel that it's condescending. We're here to educate you. So you have to be careful about how you frame that, right? Because we talk about, we have to educate Congress. We have to educate the mass public. We have to educate developing economies. We got to educate. We're out there educating. And while it is true that in its raw form, yes, information needs to go out there and people need to have the information. We have to number one, understand what approach to take on educating, right? So how does that happen? At what format does that happen? And at what point at what point is it education not needed, and what you need to have is more of a tutorial on utilization. So what I mean by that is, okay, so we're out there and so we have, say, developers, right? So we're out there talking to developers. Yeah, of course, we would like to have educational materials on, say, how to work with Ergo script, how to work with UTXO, how to work with with their consensus protocol. So yeah, that's a clear kind of education vertical, right? So there have to be education materials there. You can call it that. And people are and developers are open to that, right? They don't get intimidated. Real developers don't get intimidated when they say, okay, I have educational materials for you. Say, okay, cool. I want to learn about this. Developers always are reading, always trying to educate themselves in new things. So that's fine to format it like that. So where else do you go? Do you go to just your average Web3 user, or not average Web3 user, but less technical, more utility Web3 user? People that say, they like NFTs, they like to, use DeFi, make money through DeFi, things like that. Do you educate them? Well, they probably already know. A lot of them know how DeFi works, right? Well, not a lot of them, but, if you get into DeFi, you have a good idea of how it works. So do we educate them, or do we give them tips on how to utilize our DeFi better? How is it better than the other DeFi they worked with? How is it easier? And then if they are looking to indulge more into just in general DeFi on Ergo, then we say, okay, well, if you want to go further, right? If you want to dig in further, then yeah, we have educational materials for you, but don't just throw them with I don't think those kinds of people are looking to be kind of educated from the very beginning. They want to have tips. They want to, and given the opportunity, they want to have the option to say, okay, you know what, maybe I'll take I'll read in some educational materials about how to utilize DeFi, how to utilize Ergo DeFi, maybe even take a course on it, right? So that's your Web3 savvy user. Now, to me, there is, and I've spoken about this as well. To me, there is a kind of a top for education versus just just the user's manual, right? And that's for mainstream, right? And it's not even a user's manual; it's just instructions, right? You got a mainstream application, like say what we're trying to do with Palmyra. We're looking to make us a mainstream application. Do we need to educate our average user about Ergo? Not really. I mean, they don't really need to know about how Ergo works. As kind of inside, it just as painful as it seems to me to say this, feels to me to say this. The average user in Palmyra will not need to know how Ergo works, but is going to do stuff for them, right? Is going to work for them, even though they don't know how it works, because it's going to be abstracted. And that's essentially what a lot of mainstream adoption does. It abstracts the tech side, the more the nerdy side, and just brings it to them in a construct that is easy for them to understand. You get on here, you buy something. This is your certificate of validation, whatever you want to call it, right? Which is, and essentially on our platform, it's an NFT. Am I going to educate them about NFTs? I don't need to educate them about NFTs. All I can tell them is that this is the certificate that will have the information that comes with what you purchased, and this verifiable, right? So this is immutable information. So you can verify this as a document, right? As without having to trust me, bro, on anything, right? That's something that is more of a of a user's manual versus just education. And so, I mean, that's kind of what I feel we need to do. And yeah, actually, So this is actually another good point from Laura. I'm sorry. My apologies. From Lisa. Sorry about that, Lisa. I forgot that some people don't like learning. For those, it's got to be easy as a 5-year-old can operate it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. People, people like to get to the point a lot of times if they're actually using, say, they're using a marketplace, right? They want to get to the point. They just want to do stuff on the marketplace. They don't want to spend, a half an hour figuring out how to use it. So that's where the UX comes in, right? That's where the streamline that's where the good UX comes in. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, you want to have the simplest, most direct explanation for the mainstream user so that the barrier of entry to your application is low, and the utilization curve is exponential because of that. So I mean that's my thoughts on that. Do you have anything to but what do you think about that, Alex?
I want to add some notes. So hopefully, and this already happening to some degree. So education efforts can be quite unique on Ergo, right? So just like as a few communities in the space. This one has some foundational writing, such as Ergo Manifesto, right? Then there are some attempts to clearly define security properties, right, in an understandable way, so-called know your assumption initiative. I think, many things already quite unique here, right? And would be more. And it's good to have also, new ways to, explain sometimes complex things to an average user. And this is not just about cryptography, cryptocurrencies, DeFi, and so on. So even traditional stuff like options, right, and other financial tools are quite exotic to masses. I think this is the main reason probably why Sigma O is not so much used still. So I myself try to do some experiments there by issuing options, right, and then providing details in simple words. So what people do buy when they are buying an option, right? So it's actually a pretty simple tool, I think, if I myself understand it correctly. But people just do not realize what's the need for him. A lot of effort still needed. So to document, right, how to use different protocols. For example, how to use bonds and dark pools for leverage trading. Once it was done, raised significantly for bonds for Sigma Phi And I think the same will happen with options, right? And then, with possible combinations with using auctions for selling tokens without slippage, for example, and so on. So, yes, such use cases there not about cryptography, right? So some moon math. So it's more or less understandable stuff, I think, for most of average users. But still, so someone needs to explain all that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely a good perspective. Yeah. So okay. So here's a good question to just going to give more definition on. So the Big 3D asks, Dan, you mentioned previously that Rosen Bridge will have integration from exchanges. Is this still the case? So that was actually Joe, but we're still talking to exchanges right now, well, not right this second, but we were talking to exchanges. We will be talking to exchanges again, especially now that the token is live and that we've made so much progress with the workshops and the ecosystem is actually being built up. So yeah, this is something that we will be pushing through with our partner exchanges and other exchanges just in the crypto ecosystem. And yeah, we'll definitely give you updates about that as you know as we have them. So yeah, like I said, it's something that we are definitely striving towards. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you, Kushti, about is how do you still feel about doing an Ergo meetup in Dubai?
Oh, so unfortunately, it seems I'm not coming due to some personal issues. But yeah, so still we can have a meetup there. So Ilya will give a talk or two. So I actually found a place. So if you are willing to give a talk, and MHS also maybe.
Definitely willing. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Then yeah, so still we can have a good meetup there on November 4th. But yeah,
Excellent.
unfortunately, I have to skip this time.
Yeah,
It seems so.
that's unfortunate,
Yeah,
Alex. I was looking forward to getting some shisha with you again.
sure. Then yeah, instead I'll do some video for the whole community. Maybe it would be even better. Let's see.
All right.
So
well,
yeah, and
if that's the case, I'm happy. I'm happy because I was kind of I was thinking like, okay, are we doing this? Aren't we doing this? So I'm happy to hear that this is progressing.
yeah. So actually, places found. The time is also considered more or less on November 4th. So there is pre-confirmation from Spectrum's Ilya on his talk or two. So if you are willing to give a talk, that would be great. It's already about a pretty good meetup, but yeah, I also ask MHS just today, so I'll reach you our DMs later today. So yeah, still we can have great meetup there, I believe.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Yeah, so let's definitely connect on this, and yeah, we will let you guys know about all the details about this meetup very shortly, because yeah, I know we're getting pretty close to the dates, and just I mean, you probably made the connection, but I am going to be in Dubai for the entire summit, and as well as a day or two before and after. So it will be great to meet any Ergonauts in Dubai while I'm there, and definitely looking forward to seeing everybody that can make it to this meetup. At the meetup, it'd be actually kind of interesting and exciting to actually meet Ilya and MHS, since I worked with them for years now, but I've never actually met them face to face, which is, I guess, the world that we live in today. It was like I think like a year and a half or something before I actually met Joe in face to face. So it's an interesting world. Anyway, would you like to give any closing remarks, Alex, before we sign off for this week?
All right. So for the meetup, details will be published this week, hopefully. It seems there will be a lot of Ergonauts in the town, and the meetup also will be merged with local Coffee with Crypto group. So there will be also participants from Coffee with Crypto. I think talks will be about Ergo only. It's more or less finalized, so I'll publish details as soon as possible. And that's more or less it. And I'm set at this point, I think.
Excellent. All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for joining this week. Really excited to see everybody in Dubai, and we will be back next week. Same time, same place, same channel. This is Dan from Japan signing off.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your questions. Bye.